Could 5G signals affect airplanes? The new technology is expected to bring transformatively faster data speeds, 100 times faster than 4G. But the new technology is drawing concern from the aviation industry, prompting policymakers to twice delay the rollout, and even leading to flight cancellations. So what is 5G, and what does it have to do with airplanes?
5G is the next generation of cellular technology to follow 4G. Each generation typically represents a leap forward in the wireless connections that we can achieve to our cell phones, to our tablets, to our laptops. And that usually means a transformation in what wireless does to our everyday lives.
So radios, TVs, Wi-Fi all send data using radio waves. And 5G comes in 3 flavors. Low band, which provides lots of coverage at similar data download speeds to 4G. Mid-band, which is kind of the best of both worlds for coverage and speed. And high band, or millimeter wave, the fastest, but loses signal strength over relatively short distances, and is easily blocked by buildings, humans, even leaves.
While the higher data rates at higher frequencies are excellent, almost everything else about high frequencies are a challenge.
Because 5G waves don't travel as far, they need more base stations or hubs to support them. And that's one of the challenges. And part of the reason that, for now, 5G signals exist mostly in urban areas.
The signal decays very fast. And so if you moved out of the range of base station, there better be another base station that you can connect to so you don't lose your connection.
But maybe the most contentious issue around the rollout has to do with safety equipment airplanes use called the radio altimeter, a device used to measure distances.
So these altimeters are very useful for aircraft as they come into land or as they're taking off and in bad weather.
Radio altimeters use radio waves to measure the distance the plane is from the ground.
They basically send a signal which reflects back up from the ground and goes back to the receiver. They get a very accurate estimate of height above ground.
That information feeds a lot of automated systems planes use, especially for landing and in bad weather. And experts are concerned that interference, even for a few seconds, could cause problems.
It could be pretty serious. And that's why everybody is very concerned about this. The radio altimeter does a lot of different things. Out of an abundance of caution, we have to presume it's going to happen, even though it might be a very low probability. One accident is one too many, is really the way it comes out. And people's lives could be at stake.
Think of a radio receiver in a car. It's designed to tune into just one station at a time. If it allows other stations to bleed through, it gets hard to hear anything clearly. In the case of radio altimeters, interference could cause an altimeter not to function at all, or cause it to give inaccurate readings.
The standards for radio altimeters were really set by 1980. We really haven't changed them much in the last 40 years. There isn't an easy solution for the hardware on the airplanes. It has to be sort of redone to have these filters in place. And that's what we're worried about, taking what could take 2, 3, or 4 years.
So that is where the concern is, that there are a lot of radar altimeters that are old, that do not have the latest technology in terms of filtering, and they could potentially face interference. There's a potential of interference. I don't think anybody has demonstrated to date that interference will occur.
Another thing at play is that the 5G signal works in a fundamentally different way from 4G. That is, it sends signals out in beams targeted towards individuals.
So some of the analysis that I've seen on this problem has assumed that all of the beam energy from 5G base station will go in the direction of the aircraft, and it could be a potential interferer. The truth is that is very, 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 very unlikely that will happen, because the power will be distributed among all the users it's servicing, most of whom are on the ground.
So, to protect against interference, telecom companies have agreed to delay turning on 5G towers near some airports. And now the FAA estimates that about 90% of commercial airplanes have altimeters that are approved for landing in airports where 5G is deployed.
That's a good sign, but the fact that they have not released the last 10% is very troubling, because it would suggest some airplanes are going to be, have a problem.
We need more data to know exactly how the 5G signal might interact with radio altimeters in the US.
There is a severe lack of actual measurements. So in some sense, in order to be able to really address this, you have to be able to start deploying in a measured way so that you can start taking measurements as to what is the potential scale for interference. So there is a process that needs to happen to really understand what the potential for interference is.